I love Lord of the Rings, which is why I hate bad Lord of the Rings. And it's pretty hard to do Lord of the Rings so wrong that even I find it bad. And yet...
This is it.
Here we are. We come to it at last. The great dumpster fire of our times. Oh, Rings of Power. This show just has no reason to be as bad as it is. So suffer through it with us, folks. Here comes the first episode, The Shadow of the Past.
I think I'm going to take this opportunity to take off and let you handle this.
No. You sit your lack of an ass down and watch this with me.
Yeah.
So, this title proves that they at least looked at the table of contents of The Lord of the Rings. Do you think they looked any further?
I'm not sure they finished the table of contents on this thing.
Is it finished yet? Even you couldn't possibly believe there was scrap would float.
Oh, Elbereth, the child actors. Oof.
You're a tyran, Spock. You could never be a true Vulcan.
That is not true. My father... Your father brought Shane to Vulcan. He married a human.
Nothing is evil in the beginning.
So, as generic bully number 502 says...
I told you it wouldn't float.
But wait, if they don't know evil, why do they have weapons? Like swords and stuff, not even weapons for hunting. And there was evil in the beginning in the books, and clearly here too, because you have bullies, and you have weapons!
Even I know there was evil before the elves existed.
And we're about 3 minutes in, and I have my first really big moment with this line.
Do you know why a ship floats and a stone cannot? But the ship has a secret. Her gaze is not downward but up, fixed upon the light that guides her.
Could you mix a few more metaphors, please?
It's hard to say which way is up and which way is down. How am I to know which lights to follow?
Why does he whisper this? I mean, I know why he does it for the sake of the production. It's so this line can come back and surprise the audience later. But in universe, why is he whispering? They're the only two people around.
But you must learn to discern them for yourself. I won't always be here to speak them to you.
But if you don't yet know death or conflict, where would he go? Why wouldn't he be around forever? You're elves, that's kind of what you do, is be around forever.
You should have no concept of goodbye.
Okay, now I'm going to give you a compliment. This first shot of Tyrion upon Tuna, which, yes, I know sounds like an Elvish sandwich, but that's what it's called. Absolutely gorgeous. Also, the imagery of the death of the trees and the Oath of Feanor, great! Referencing some famous Tolkien art there. I love it. Now if you could just give me more of this and less of...
Even you couldn't possibly believe there was scrap would float.
Unfortunately, Offscreen Kim, now they're going to start talking.
No.
I know, it's a downside of this show. One of many.
We left Valinor, our home, and journeyed to a distant realm. One filled with untold perils and strange creatures beyond count. A place known as Middle-earth.
Slap him silly, girls!
Whoa. Get back to that map. Where the hell is Balerion?
A place known as Middle-earth.
You know, I could just let this go as show canon is different.
No, you couldn't.
You're right, I couldn't. But later, another character will say that he was born in Balerion. So clearly it exists in the show. Where the hell is it in this map of the First Age?
Born down in a First Age town, I was born in Balerion, yeah.
Balerion is a whole continent, not a town. I hassle to. I is compelled.
Look up at the sky and float.
Okay, No. Go back to the map again. I'm sorry. This map is crooked. It's weirdly warped. Is this some kind of Middle-earth Mercator projection? Except the world is flat at this point, so they wouldn't need a Mercator projection. And no. I have to move on, or we will be here forever.
Do not tempt my addiction. I've gone through withdrawal, kid. Do not relapse. I won't. Do not let the demons win.
Oh God, please don't let us be in this episode forever.
We haven't already been? Was there a before time?
But the war left Middle-earth in ruin.
Okay, some more good. Another nice visual reference to some famous Tolkien art and the Near-Ninth Arnoediad. Alright, okay. And why is Galadriel still wearing the same dress she was wearing when she was like a little elf girl?
It seems like I've been wearing the same dress forever.
You know, every time I try to give this show a point, I immediately have to take one right back. Can you try a little harder, Rings of Power?
If it helps, you're taking a lot more back than you're leaving alone.
Yes I am.
Multiplying ever greater under the command of his most devoted servant, a cruel and cunning sorcerer. They called him
Kim?
My brother vowed to seek him out and destroy him. But Sauron found him first.
Okay, first off, big disrespect to the death of Finrod in the real canon right here. Second, apparently the wisest of the elves are less clever than the average Redditor, because people had this riddle figured out almost instantly. At this particular angle, it's even more obvious than usual.
To the ends of the earth we hunted Sauron. Year gave way to year.
Year gave way to year. Yeah, a good way to sum up the feeling of watching this show. Oh my God, we're not even done with the prologue. Do you remember how exciting the prologue of the Peter Jackson movies felt?
A movie unto itself.
None of that here.
And yet it's probably the best part of the show.
Oh God.
It's downhill from here, Kim.
Oh God! We're gonna die!
And for many elves, the pain of those days passed out of thought and mind.
First movie!
More and more of our kind began to believe that Sauron was but a memory.
But you're elves. You haven't had generations pass since then. Some of you are the same people who were there. You shouldn't have things pass into myth when you were there. Things from the 80s and 90s are not myth to me. I know they are to some of you brats, but not to me. Yeah, okay, we get it. You want to be Game of Thrones. You want to be Game of Thrones so bad.
Perhaps we would be wise to camp here, and tomorrow begin the journey home.
We are losing the light.
So, yeah, this Galadriel. Alright, I'm not going to hold it against her that she's not Cate Blanchett, because nobody else can be Cate Blanchett. I was okay with...
I was Cate Blanchett once briefly for a weekend, but that didn't last long.
I was okay with a different interpretation of Galadriel, including it up to Warrior Galadriel, because canon does tell us she was different in her youth. But this
is no good.
Man, this character is Captain Marvel levels of not endearing herself to us. Starting with...
Amanda! Wait! No! We keep moving!
Oh yeah, leave your man to die behind in the snow. That really makes us like you. Yeesh.
Who are you?
Galadriel. Galadriel Skywalker.
Alright, speaking of dumb things with Galadriel, she just finds everything instantly in this mission, doesn't she? And here she goes, solving riddles by brute force and not cleverness or perception. Again, Warrior Galadriel is one thing. Meathead Galadriel is another.
Water.
You're welcome.
Wait a minute, how are you pouring that out? Shouldn't that be ice in this climate? And we know this is water, not alcohol or
we would have drank it all by now if there was any.
True. Here in Autumno, we put the brand on everything.
Tell the others to rest while they can. At sunrise we move on.
And of course, not only is Galadriel a badass, she's the only badass in the room. She takes down this troll solo. Teamwork? What's that?
So, are your elf guys just there to take hits for you? Is that their goal? Are they like the options in Gradius to you?
I think they're her backup dancers.
Look! I'm good, but I don't pull focus.
We should never have come in here.
We leave soon enough. The order is given. We march at first light.
Man, those Captain Marvel, Rey Skywalker vibes are getting stronger, and that's not good. So her backup dancers finally mutiny, and who can blame them at this point? And oh, sweet light of Barda, we've only just hit the title sequence. Someone help me.
We've only just begun.
Alright, okay, these guys, no. I understand why if you killed a stag or a moose, you would carry the antlers like this, because it's one of the few ways that makes sense. But they just look silly. How can you not laugh at this?
Well, you gotta pay attention when these guys come back later and what really matters in this.
How many more times are we gonna see these guys? Never! Yeah, it's Rings of Power. Don't give it any credit. And the little vermin all scuttle back out. I'm sorry. We don't have any reason to hate them yet.
Meet the Harfoots, the Chihuahuas of Middle-earth, meaning that you want to punt them whenever you can.
Travelers, at this time of year.
Okay, what is up with Sadoc's Book O prophecy? This does not exist in the true lore and is never explained in this season of the show.
In the original lore, the hobbits are about as spiritual and mystical as orcs, right? Isn't their whole thing that they live in the present and the now and they don't really think about anything deeper?
Far-off tales and children's stories, that's all that is. Well, it's none of our concern what goes on beyond our borders. Keep your nose out of trouble, and no trouble will come to you.
Hobbits are all about food, beer,
work,
pipes.
It's an omen, I warrant you.
Thank you, Hobo Hobbit Dracula and your Hobo Hobbit brides. Seriously, who are these women? Is he in a throuple, or what is this? And they're also thieves. Oh, nice. And yes, this is definitely a cultivated garden, not a wild berry patch. See the gate and the fence still well maintained.
So basically this is San Francisco.
I palanumen, I al fili menori, la metta avante, home.
Savor that little pinch of Cinderin. It's the last we'll get for a couple episodes. You'd think something trying to be Tolkien would understand love of language. And it's young Ned Stark as Elrond.
No. Now it ends.
One of the better members of the cast, honestly, but I just can't look at him without seeing young Ned Stark. The short hair does not help.
The council regrets to inform you, you won't be permitted to attend the next session. Elf Lords only.
You know, kind of like how we'd say human supervisors only at a work meeting. And that's leaving aside the fact that Elrond is one of the highest born people here, and if I go into normal canon, we'll never be done. Just stick with the show's own inconsistencies, there's enough. Just stick with the show's own inconsistencies, there's enough.
Remember, folks, this is Offscreen Kim holding back on the nerd lore.
You do have a point.
Your friend has arrived.
She's here. Why didn't you say so?
Okay, now this is the most fantastical thing we've seen so far. Someone who knows this Galadriel, but actually wants to see her and likes her. I call bullshit, sir. Okay, these Chirons, I get that they're necessary because of how abruptly you jump about Middle-earth.
And how identical their designs are that you can never tell one place from another.
Exactly. One of the great things about the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings is the devotion to character and culture that they gave to all of these different cities. You can at a glance tell even elven kingdoms from each other. Rivendell from Lothlorien, or Rohan from Gondor. It's easy. But in this...
It's hard to tell Mordor from the Hobbit places.
I'm going to ask this a lot of times during this review, but where did the money go? Jeff Bezos, did you really need that 15th yacht that much?
I hear it said that when you cross over, you hear a song. One whose memory we all carry.
Wait. But nobody comes back from Valinor. So how do you know what the journey there is like? You'd know what Valinor itself was like from Galadriel, but how would you know what going back west over the ocean is like? No one has done that and returned.
This mark's very existence proves Sauron escaped.
How? If I write down a thing and you find it 100 years later, does that prove I'm still alive?
People write swastikas all the time. That doesn't mean Hitler's still walking the earth.
I am not some courtier to be placated by idle flattery. I demand to speak with the king directly.
All right, start the Karen counter. Galadriel demands to speak to the king.
I am important!